First things first, YouTube has removed my community function. So there that is. Hi, Naima Singletary here. Man is the cause of all coming evil. What is this about? Carl Jung. This is the man I will be sharing more about today. What is going on here? The power that we're leaving on the table, the love that we're leaving on the table. What does the future hold for you? What's your plan? For real. Who's included in that plan? Do you see fulfillment in that plan? Is it a supposed to plan? Like what's the real cause of that plan? What are you doing? Who are you? I'm referencing Carl Jung, and I'd like to share a movie with you today. I'd love to share resources with you for you to decide if it speaks to you and do something with it. I'm also streaming on Facebook. Hello, Facebook. I like to read something. Carl Jung, if you don't know, he is one of the godfathers of depth psychology. Depth psychology. And he was, to my knowledge, the first psychologist, because while he is very well known for bringing forth some what was unknown at his time, some of the nuances unconscious of the unconscious. The unconscious was not new. I actually heard about a book just today by Dr. Jordan Peterson out of Canada, that many of you have probably heard of. A book, basically a man who wrote about the theories of the unconscious being discussed a century before Freud, before Jung, and they were all what we would all expect of that time, masculine exclusive, exclusively through a male lens, exclusively through a male lens, exclusively through a male lens. This is one of the things that had Jung stand out, had so many women wake up, had him be highly disagreeable to Freud, because we're talking early 1900s here, okay? Okay, so here's a quote from Jung. The only great danger that exists is man himself. We should study his psyche because we are the origin of all coming evil. I repeat the words of Carl Jung. The only great danger that exists is man himself. We should study his psyche because we are the origin of all coming evil. He said this in an interview. This video was black and white, so this was before we had color. He said this in the early-ish 1900s. It might have been like 1940 or 50, because I think he died in 61. Yeah. The unconscious mind. Now I'm going to share a resource and a real personal thing that I'm doing is I'm really going in. I'm uncovering all stones. I'm reaching out to people. I'm inviting folks into vulnerable, true conversations. What's really going on with you? What's the real plan? What do you really think? As I watch different Black men online who are purveyors of knowledge and teaching their way, their style, their version, and there are countless. it feels like they don't really believe. They do it for whatever reason they do it. Maybe it's because they just can't not say something. Maybe they get paid, right? Maybe they're like, well, I can't lose all hope. Let me give what I got, right? Who knows the reason why, right? Maybe it feels good to them, right? The different reasons. My sense as I'm looking at these men and really listening from a heart level, that's how I listen. There ain't no quick snap, shallow assessments around here. A lot of folk don't really seem to believe at a deep level. As I've witnessed myself, and I'm getting ready to share a resource. When I really am behind something, there's a way that I'm in it. There's a way that I do things that my ego doesn't necessarily want to do. There's a way that I'm just in it. I move, I invest time, heart, money. Like I invest my key assets, my time. I invest my time. I invest my money. I submit my ego. And I do things that are inconvenient, that don't feel good to my ego. And I see others, when they truly believe in something, there's a way that they move. And when I look at, and listen, we could have a larger conversation because I don't plan to be here that long today. We'll see what happens. About universal consciousness, humanity at large. Yes. And sometimes I will talk through that lens. Today I'm talking about Black men specifically. Where art thou, darling? And in case you're new here, part of me is like, I'm not talking about the average Black man. Obviously, the average Black man is just not motivated in that way. Like, and he perhaps never will. I'm talking about the Black man who truly sees himself as a king, even if he's not living up to that yet, right? Some are, some aren't, many are not. And why is he moving that way? Why are you moving that way, sir? What's going on? What's in your psyche? What's hidden from you that you don't even realize has you saying one thing and doing another? Saying one thing, living another way. Where you're like, you might be loud. We know men, right? Well, some men, listen, we know when you listen to me, please listen with a broader ear. Okay. This is generally speaking. Okay. So many of you get around other males and, oh, you're so, right? But quietly, you don't really believe what you say. What's going on? Have you had glimpses of the ugly in you? Your hate for the femininity in you? Your hate of vulnerability, of softness, of emotions themselves? This kind of stuff is not typically in your conscious mind. In your conscious mind, well, it depends on the the man that you are. Listen, this is generally speaking. We know that you are your own special being. Hmm? Perhaps in your mind, like you feel like you're a man, a good dude, right? Like you know how to love a woman. You're ready to love a woman. Maybe you're like, I got some things I'm working on, but yeah, eventually I will be looking for my wife, right? Whatever your self-talk is, right? And I like to niche it even more and speak to the Black men who truly believe they have a purpose. Now, there's a part of me that's a fool for even talking about. I'm aware, right? Because the statistics is showing, uh, and other Black content creators who are married, successfully married, like happily married men whose wives are well taken care of, thriving, alive, She don't have to be half dead to be married to him, right? Run around here smiling like a damn Stepford wife and really ain't happy inside and all kind of pain to be with that right? Successfully married black men, married 15, 20 plus years, children, father, grandfather. They saying, and the statistics are saying, that black men ain't listening. So I'm kind of a fool to even be saying this. And like I said earlier, I feel like my time is very limited. And I mean that. So I'm doing everything. So when I complete, I can say absolutely from the heart that I did what the fuck every which way. Tore down the ego, submitted that thing, reached out to him, her, all of them. Invited the conversation sincerely, sent them personal videos, personal audios, personal messages. I'm open to this conversation. Should I fly to you? Do you want to fly to me? What ideas do you have? What's on your heart? What are you looking to create? What are you scared of? What are you hungry for? What are you frustrated by? What are you hating? What are you vengeful for? What do you just what's up? The behaviors that people take when they really mean it. The investments that you make when you really mean it. My time is limited. I'm not interested in just I've lived so much. Many of the things that people are looking to have, they're going to have it and they still not going to be complete and whole. I've had so much material. I've lived so many lives. I've done so much. I know what's up. I know how it works. Now what? Are we really going to get into the fact that life is a hard game? Or are we going to live circuitously, going in circles, up shallow, talking about these things that don't get what we talking about? Sir, what needs to be talked about? Why does okay, and then you answer that, you write it down. Why does that need to be talked about? Because you feel like what? See, because if you and I talk, we can get down to the nitty gritty, the real thing, because you want to be affirmed. I saw a small clip, Tony Gaskins, one of those, what I think many Black people will call successfully married. Okay. I saw in a short clip of his this morning. He said what he's hearing from men, because he works, men and women. What he's hearing from married men is they want affirmation. They want more words of affirmation. Okay, so you get more words of affirmation. And it's encouraging, right? It's encouraging and encourages you to continue to be the man that you think that you are supposed to be, the man that you are. You go work more, you feel, good about your, being with that woman, and voila, right? That gives you the medicine, the juice, the feel good that you're looking for. Okay, good. Then what? What how is that helping the marriage as far as the woman is concerned? Because the word is oftentimes the women are either giving affirmation because they know it fuels him, because they need him to continue to perform, because she benefits from his performance. And she's not doing it from a sincere place. She's doing it because she knows it works. There's a difference here, right? And then how is she in the relationship? Now this is micro macro. I like to go micro macro here. Okay, so that's micro. That's in your specific relationship, and these micro details that constitute a relationship. Well, I want affirmation. Well, I want time. Well, I want more head, right? I've heard men say that. I would like more head, um, etc. I would like more gifts, whatever, time, right? And then so you have those things, good. And then, okay, good. Let's say you got all those things going, right? Again, more, okay, that's micro. Now, more macro, we're talking about pioneer. the consciousness, the evolution, the way of being of a pioneer. So pioneers are dynamic, right? Um, I like to bring in more Carl Jung. Okay. Beneath this video, I just realized I didn't put it over here on Facebook, but I will. There's a link to a movie called Matters of the Heart. Ah, my God. Ooh, honey. Mm, 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 Oh, wait, am I live? I'm not even, my YouTube is not even open. Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay. All right, let me go. Okay. Matters of the Heart. So Matters of the Heart is it's not it's a, what would you even call this? It's a collection of interviews from, I think, yeah, Young is in there, but it's mostly analysts who worked with him. And I would say that's mostly who's in it. Okay. And it's narrated. Okay. And in there, one of the analysts, a man, said that, and these are all old clips. You can tell they're really old. Uh, he said, people would ask Freud, "So what are you, a Protestant? Are you this?" And he'd be like, "Don't ask me these foolish things. Listen, please, I would love for you to watch this on Amazon Prime. It's only $2.99 to rent." And he had gone to Africa by this time. And in this movie on Amazon Prime, Matters of the Heart, he said he had either discovered witchcraft in Africa or heard about witchcraft in Africa, and he just came to know these things that he didn't know, that then helped him to see all the witchcraft in Switzerland. And somebody was asking him, "Are you going to go back to Africa?" He was like, "Oh my God, there's so much that I need to come into or know or something like that before I can go back to Africa." When you watch it, you'll hear it yourself. So then when they would ask him, "So what are you? Are you a Protestant? Are you a Catholic or whatever?" And he'd be like, "Don't ask me these things." This is what the analyst is saying in the interview about Young. That Young would be like, "Don't ask me these foolish things. I'm still waiting for the black man to have a dream that he is God." Or was it the African? He either said, "I'm waiting for the black man," or, "I'm waiting for the African to have a dream that he is God." White man, 1900s, says to another white man, "I'm waiting for the African to have a dream that he is God." Okay, now that's macro. Let's bring this down to the micro. Who are you being in your day to day? When you quietly by your, who are you being? Pioneering black man? What actions are you real from what place? Is it coming from a place of truth? Or do you don't really believe in black people, do you? Do you really believe in yourself? See, have you gotten down into the truth of who you are so you can really assess and move from a much more powerful, holistic? When I say holistic, I mean all of who you are, top to bottom, deep down inside. Not this very limited consciousness of what it means to be a black man. I know there's pressure. It's pressure on both sides, man and woman. Yes, there's pressure. And who gives a fuck? Now, there's different angles for me to take right here. Death, dealing with that, your fear of death. Uh, uh, the pressure, societal pressures, which, okay, first of all, death is it. Everything else is just the death is the root, and everything else is just an extension of the fear of the death. Okay, fear of loss, fear of shame, ridicule, abandonment, running out of money, being called names, being alone. If we can't talk about death for real and look at your relationship with death and you do active, deliberate work, whether it's alone, which I don't recommend, or with the right person who has the capacity to deal with you in highly erratic, spontaneous combustion. Like this is this is governing your life. That's the level of importance this is. This is governing all the decisions you're making, the decision about the woman you choose, the decisions about where you're going to live, the decisions about career choices, the decisions about what you say and don't say. You see Kanye West? Kanye West has clearly reconciled his relationship with death. Clearly. That's what it looks like when a man is not afraid to die. Don't he look like a fool to a lot of people? He looked like a fool to a lot of people. People like, oh my God, this nigga full of himself. This nigga ego. Oh, he's ridiculous. Oh, doing all that. Well, why he doing all that? You know what? That ain't gonna do nothing. That ain't gonna do nothing. Well, what's the intent? What's his intent? When the goal is to live completely, so when you die clean, you move different. What you doing? What you doing? Conscious black man? Listen, go make all the money, sir. I already know what it feel like. I already know. And for those of you who have plenty of money and you do all the things, and money ain't a thing, right? Like you might not be able to buy a multi-million dollar jet, but you got some money. You can do some things, right? You can decide today you going to Japan and be on a flight tomorrow to Japan, right? Pick up your whole family, go over to Japan, right? You could do that today if you wanted to. You got the funds for that, right? You got the structures in place. You got right. You have the wherewithal, the expansiveness of thought, the money, the resources, the assets, right? And you've done that perhaps in other ways, right? So you already know all this material shit I can do. You've lived a lot of lives, right? Like depending on meaning, like you've lived as this kind of man, as that kind of man, as this kind of man, as that kind of man. You've had all these different experiences versus talk, right? A lot of people who talk, 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 talk. You've lived, right? Which has baked it into your actual, excuse me, it's baked, so then it's real to you. Excuse me. And then you gotta be asking yourself, like, what you really doing? What you really doing? What are you really doing? Right? And have you ever thought it, like, really seriously sat down quietly with yourself and contemplated the woman that's required in your life to be the man that you know that you are? To really explore and take it from thinking about it to living it. What are you to live in this lifetime? What are you to live? Do you know how to get really honest with yourself? Really feel yourself? Because sometimes I wonder, because I just hear about how hard life is, for black men, how hardened so many men, listen, remember, macro, micro, collective, then niche it, to my pioneering black men today. We out here. But if you're not really thinking truly, okay, dedicated thought, deep thought, and then truly believing it. I'm on dating apps right now, and I can tell you, these men don't even, most of them, from what I'm seeing, they don't even really believe. I talked to a guy off a dating app, and he said to me straight up, "Well, I'm supposed to take you serious off a dating app? Well, why are you here?" But that's how a lot of men feel. You're on a dating and you don't even believe it. You talk in consciousness and you don't even believe it. You don't even believe in these people. You don't even believe in yourself like that. You got psyche stuff going on and don't even know it. Sir, I'm here to tell you, submit your ego. Listen, you can still have it. Like you submit your ego don't mean just lay down and die. Okay. Not sure how you're hearing that. Okay. Being able to learn from a woman. How about that? That could be a version of submitting your ego. Some men feel like, can't no woman tell me. All righty, sir. Good luck with that. Do you know how much you can learn from a woman? We're not entirely the same, right? Obviously. One area I know we are the same is, for example, when you have something that you have something that and you know it, right? You can share it with others, you can teach others. And somebody comes to you and they say, can you tell me? I've been curious about this. Do you know about this particular topic? The one that you know about. And they're genuinely curious. They genuinely want to know. And you start telling them, and you can tell that they're really listening. They're really paying attention. They're really present. You just talk, right? You share, right? Same thing with women. You ask her about a topic, she will share gladly. Have you sincerely imagined yourself being in harmonious relationship with a powerful woman? Or like, what does that even look like? What does a powerful woman look like to you? What does it feel like to sit in her presence and look in her eyes? What does it feel like to be in the car with her? What does it feel like to walk side by side down the street with her? I'd like for you to watch Matters of the Heart, just so you can hear that part. And it happens within, I want to say, the first 30 minutes of the movie, maybe the first 45 minutes of the movie. But it's definitely the first half of the movie. I think it's about an hour and 45 minutes long. I'm still waiting for the African to have a dream that he's God. And then I invite you to read something from Young that speaks to you. If you'd like a recommendation, email me. I'd be happy to give you one. If you want to put it in the comments of this video, the question, the request, you can put it in the comments or you can email me. That will also be placed beneath this video. And then dedicate time to go down into your psyche. That's where it's all happening. I think this is the last thing before I go. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. So I have a swim buddy. She's 61 years old. Her name is Lou. I love our relationship. It's just like, gosh, it's so like our psyches get to be in it. We get to like really have moments. It's an evolutionary relationship. And it's conscious though. It ain't all like projection stuff. And she messaged me about half an hour ago saying, "Hey, I reserved a lane for us at the pool today." And I already plan to be at yoga at 6:30. So that means she and I are going to do the pool for like half an hour, and then I want to shower, maybe hop in the jacuzzi, and then go to yoga. It just is so deliciously beautiful, and I'm just thinking about that in the moment and sharing it with you. So I think this will be the last thing before I go. Um, uh, what's her name? Myra, Sister Myra. She's on the internet. Mature black woman, wise, has been around for a while. She, from to my knowledge, she's been on the circuit, the consciousness circuit. and she did a live stream. It was a paid live stream. You had to pay to be there on, I think it was on Twin Flames. And this was definitely last year because I was in Colombia. I remember I was laying in my bed watching the live stream in my bed in Colombia. And there was a Q&A, and it was about relationships, twin flame, love, cosmic beings, consciousness, etc. And during Q&A, there were several black men, I was so happy, who asked questions. And um, and it wasn't just an asking of a question, they were really articulating some deeper things going on with them. Okay. And a common thread was back to this fear of death thing and how much these men had brought it up to consciousness, right? And perhaps you have too, and perhaps you've just yet to reconcile it, because it's the reconciling that is required to happen, because then that'll dictate what actions you take starting immediately after it's been reconciled. Okay. Um, and there was one black man who talked about, um, like, there's these things that he's meant to do. He knows how powerful he is. He knows he's like, but like deep in my mind, I'm like, ugh, and he started talking about the white man and, fears, basically of persecution. He didn't say it in that way, but like I said, all roads lead to death. Okay. And as long as that is a fear, conscious or unconscious, you're controlled. You're controlled, no matter how much knowledge, right? Good for you. All the knowledge you have, good for you. Um, but everyone, all the black men I see on the internet who are consider themselves the harbors of the greatest knowledge, of right knowledge. Um, they say this is a farm and we are food. So, one, that's true. You want to bring kids down to a farm. One, two, what are you doing? What's your relationship with death? If that's not reconciled, everything you do is to keep yourself here, whether that's conscious to you or not. Everything you do is bringing you out into possible death. See, I mean, like, how true are we going to get here? What are you doing? If the goal is just to have some more money, fuck some more, do some more joyous things, I get that. Hey, there's a place for that. I mean, shoot, I still want to go to Greece. I still want to spend more time in the south of Italy. I mean, there's plenty of amazing things to do. And how do I feel really? Like, where am I really investing my time and energy? Like, are you ready to go? Like, are you living in a way to where if you left tomorrow, you'd be cool? Are you living in that way? Hold on one second. So I'll leave you with that. Again, matters of the heart. The link is beneath this video. It's Amazon Prime, $2.99. I think it's really good to just see what was going on in the mind of this pioneering man who had, God, it's just so powerful. He brought the feminine into it, which had been lacking for centuries. Okay. And changed the game. Changed the game. And again, if you have requests of me, questions, etc., you can either put them in the chat or you can email me. Okay, that information, all that is beneath this video. And then also, um, send me your email address, like to get. I have a wait list. Something is coming down the pike. I'm just, I'm really feeling my way through this about what I'm feeling like there's going to be two opportunities. And so, if you'd like to be notified when I have either the thing for pioneering folks who are truly advanced, not like their ego thinks they're advanced. And I'd like for you to just trust my assessment. Like, unless you like feel like, no, Naima, I really do know myself. I've been doing shadow work, unconsciousness work. I'm very aware of, A, B, and C, and you, right? You're truly clear about that versus I'm looking to become more illuminated because actually, I got these patterns. I'm right. And being honest about that is so important because if you're not going to trust, like if I can see things and we can't have these conversations because you're just so um, unconsciously committed to this idea of who you think you are. It's listen. I don't want to deal with that. Um, the container really require anyway. That's another conversation or another thing for, like I said, folks who are, um, if we look at this as grades, K through 12, just like being honest about your grade. Okay, it's so important to be honest. Your greatest power is in honesty. It's your greatest power. It's your greatest power, honesty. So, all right, that's it for now. Share, like this video, and like check back on your own because it doesn't seem like YouTube is very friendly to me, and so uh, I don't think they're pushing my live streams out, etc. Hey, not my problem. Lots of love.